AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
The Emirates NBA Cup is here. You can win big getting in on the action of DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. All 30 teams split into 6 groups every Tuesday and Friday, playing for the right to advance in a single elimination in-season tournament, culminating in the NBA Cup Championship in Vegas. First time, here's something special just for you. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code ABTV. That's code ABTV for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPENY. That's 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Camp Resort. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball. Skip Bayless on if the NBA or if LeBron James is the most overprotected athlete in the history of mankind. This guy's just banging. He's amazing, man.
Shit. No. So obviously, again, you guys changed the dynamic with Debate TV, but I felt like kind of like the last 3 years and where I kind of was outwardly, critiquing as you would critique was I kind of felt it went from critiquing the game, it went poor play, shitty team, to personal attacks. And 2 people in particular, I felt kind of it got personal at times, was with Russell Westbrook and LeBron James. From your experience and understanding who you were, your role, how you really found your niche, and again, a sail to the top, what at one point I felt like there was a line. Again, it was critiquing because that was the job. And then I felt like the line kind of got erased and it was more personal.
Still believe to this moment, LeBron has been the most overprotected superstar in the history of the game. I have thrown him many, many, many flowers when it's time to throw flowers.
Right.
I have constantly, consistently, though nobody wants to hear me do this, but I've said to this day, to this moment, he's still the best passer in basketball. On a nightly basis, as I always say, I watch every dribble of every game. He will take my breath away twice a game with a pass he'll make where I'll say, that's just special. That's a gift. He's a generational passer of the basketball. And I've said 1,000 times, sometimes to that man, he is easily the greatest driver of the basketball I've ever seen because he's ambidextrous at 6'9", whatever we give him now, 260-ish. And obviously an explosive athlete with the highest IQ in basketball. It's somewhere between him and Magic with the highest IQ ever to me. That's just me. And I know that's pretty subjective. I frame all this with the positivity. And obviously what he's done off the court is stellar. It's not Ali, but in this day and age, it's close.
In classic AllBall fashion, lead with the love. Because here comes Skip dropping the hammer.
We know all the racial social justice, what he just did with Kamala, highest marks. Okay. So now we take this man who is the greatest scorer in the history of this game. And let's start with this. By his standards, he's a poor 3-point shooter. And by his standards, he's a pathetic free throw shooter at 74% for his career. Jordan's 84%. Magic, they're 90-ish%. KD 90-ish%. There have been so many flame out moments for LeBron in his career. And remember, on TV, I was often thrown up against Shannon Sharp, who loves LeBron like a brother. I mean, like a stalker, if you know, right?
Nah, it's a little scary.
I mean, it got a little scary for me sometimes. Wow. He was proclaiming LeBron better than Jordan. Well, I'm the biggest Jordan fan in this.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm with
Thank
you. I'm right there with you.
Okay. Like I get
Wipe your
goosebumps
mouth.
talking
Who?
Stack. I'm with you. I'm with you. Relax. gang.
about Michael Jeffrey
Jesus
Jordan because I got
Christ.
to know him. I was there in Chicago in '98 for the Last Dance season. Listen, this man he's in another universe
Right.
to me from LeBron bleeping James.
Right.
So if you're going to compare them, I'm going to say Jordan never had any epic fails in anything he did in the playoffs, even when they lost, when he didn't have Pip yet. He'd score 63 in overtime at Boston, and Larry Bird would say, I just saw God in sneakers. You know, like, okay, all right, so that's the framework of what I'm doing. Again, do I hate LeBron? I don't know LeBron. I'm actually happy I don't, because I'm afraid if I were around him very much, I think he's a really good guy, a really nice guy. Sometimes nice to a fault, because I was around Jordan a lot. Not a nice guy all the time.
Yeah.
He was a bad MF, man.
Yeah.
And he wore it on his sleeves. And when it was time to be a bad MF, he scared the hell out of the rest of the league. I don't think LeBron scares the hell out of the rest of the league, because I think they all really like him. And he wants to be liked to a fault.
Skip Bayless, the original hater himself of debate sports. It's getting critical out here in these streets. Shout out to Steven Jackson, man.
Give him a napkin while you shouting him out too.
So that was a great clip. Skip is probably, listen, man, Skip is the bad. Y'all know what, people ain't got to like him. But let me just say this. For one, don't mention nobody with Muhammad Ali, bro. When it comes to what he represented, nobody comes close. So that right there was just terrible. Another one that was terrible. LeBron is not a better passer than Magic Johnson or Jason Kidd.
Yes, he
Miss
is.
me with that.
Yes, he
Hey,
is.
we can argue that one day. It's not a problem. I don't know if he has the highest IQ of all time. I'm not going with that. But is he the most overprotected superstar in NBA history? He might be. He might be. He might be. Because it seems like when you
How do
talk
we
about
validate-
LeBron,
We take that.
because when
Say, hold
people
on.
talk about LeBron,
Ask that again, please,
you
because
about,
it kind of got.
Fleet about to prove it. Look, go ahead. Look.
Hold on.
No, I want to know how do we validate that?
Because it seems like you can't talk about LeBron James in any type of bad light, no matter what it is.
Who gets upset when that happens?
Crazy people. Listen, too many people. So remember, I always tell you, for me, Dallas Cowboy fans, LeBron and Laker fans, my opinion, the worst fans of all time.
I got it.
Because they say Knicks fans are crazy. No.
But they're nowhere near
Those-
the way. Yeah.
Once again, when people talk about LeBron, you never heard nobody say he's not a great player. Never. But when you say anything negative about him, it's almost like blasphemy. So I kind of agree with Skip when it comes to that. It's like you can talk about everything but LeBron James because whatever. Remember, people protect him so much that they bring up he never been in trouble outside of the game. We ain't talk about that. We talk about inside of the game. So I kind of agree to a certain
for a lot of our greats.
Yes, I agree.
For the decision they make off the court.
Right. But that doesn't make you a great basketball player. Just because you're a great father. Right. So I think they try to make that's a case for LeBron being the GOAT. Like they talk about basketball and his private life. He never been in trouble. He never got caught cheating. He never did this. His kids this. Great father. Advocate. Bruh. Who cares? He missed the free throw tonight, nigga. So for me, I kind of agree with that. Like I said, I'm gonna have to watch the whole fleet because when you say something is fire, I got to watch it. But I just think
great interview, no question.
I think Skip Bayless, as much as people may not like him personally, I never met him. You know what I mean? I don't know him personally. I have no dog in his fight. I don't root for him though. But listen, man, he's great at what he does, and he's created in his own world. He's what's my man that was running WWF? He's Vince McMahon, bro.
Vince McMahon.
Like we could say whatever we want. He's Vince McMahon, and he's created his own Stone Colds and Macho Mans and Hulk Hogan's, bro. Like LeBron is Stone Cold, and he's Vince McMahon. And
Fabian loves that shit. He loves that shit. He loves that.
And I think people hate because they can't do that. But Skip Bayless is mostly always wrong and right. But I just love the personality that he has. He doesn't back down from anybody, anyone. He speaks how he feels. And I think, and I'll let you go now after this, Fleet. Like I said, I don't agree with probably 95% of the stuff he says. But I do agree with LeBron is at times the most overprotected NBA superstar of all time. Because, like I said, it's almost like you can't say any like now, if he has a bad game, he's 40 years old. If he has a good game, he's still the best player in the league. I don't see them do that with nobody else. And this is not me being a Jordan fan. I don't want to spark that up because sometimes we do too much with that. But when Mike was bad in Washington, no one brings up his age. No one. So for me, Skip Bayless got a point right there. Got a point right there. But listen, man, that little clip showed me that platform got a little better. But big shout out to Skip Bayless, man. Listen, I heard that interview was great by my brother Flea. I seen a little bit of clips of him talking about Stephen A. and Shannon. I'm gonna wait to watch it. I don't want to hear nothing. I'm gonna wait to watch it tomorrow. But
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I don't agree with the greatest passer. He's not number 2 to me. I don't agree with that Muhammad Ali thing was out of control. I don't think nobody will ever do what Muhammad Ali did. Rest in peace, the greatest probably athlete, human being of all time. Do we not realize he had no endorsements ever in his life? He had one endorsement. It was a roach spray. I mean, my pops was a Muhammad Ali nut. Muhammad Ali had no endorsements, bro. He was ready to lay his life on the line to believe in what he believed in, our people. So, we have to be careful because Muhammad Ali played a whole different ball game with that. But those things I disagree with. But that other thing, being overprotected, hell yeah, I believe in that. Hell yeah, I believe that. I believe that's 100% true.
I got a Coogee in the closet right now, Fish. If you need me to put it on, I will. Let me just let you know that right now. If you need me to put the Coogee on right now, I will go get it and put it on just to let you know I still got Coogee. That's number 1.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? You know where I'm from. You know where I'm from, OG. Listen, for me, I get a little confused when we talk about most overprotected player because I watch a lot of guys give their honest opinion on LeBron James, right? And a lot of times the opinion mirrors how OG feels. It mirrors a lot, it mirrors that don't you ever compare him to Michael Jordan. Y'all know I'm not a LeBron guy. Most people think I am. They get confused because they're like, well, the Flea gets upset when everybody talks about LeBron. Nah, I just try to keep the balance. Y'all know who I'm a Kobe guy, right? I think Bean, and then we could talk about everybody else. But when it gets to that comparing Mike and LeBron in terms of scrutiny, I don't know if Mike could even last in this kind of world playing basketball. We talk about his mental toughness, how tough he was, what he took on and all that type of stuff. I say this ad nauseum. It is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week news cycle today. People are talking about LeBron James at 5 a.m. in the morning on a Sunday morning, and they talking about him on Friday night at 6:30. They wasn't doing that back in the 90s with Michael Jordan. All you found was people lauding over him. That's all you found. Tell me. School me.
You telling me nobody argued or talked about Mike 5 in the morning? ESPN was.
ESPN was a place.
People outside. People like us outside was. Remember, everybody wasn't a Mike fan. Right. So I understand when you said it is magnitude because of social media, but don't tell me during Mike's career he was spoken about 24/7, bro. Whether it was his sneakers
but
or whether it was his basketball game.
Respectfully to you, I'm not calling you that, but respectfully, 24/7 of glazing.
Yeah.
Yes, 24/7 of he's the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life, right? The people that did criticize Mike, Now you don't know basketball. Now get this dude out of here. They throwing you out the barbershop. You can't even get a cut now because you going against every barber in the spot. Because Michael Jordan, especially if you're a Knicks fan,
hey, Flea, is Michael Jordan one of the most overprotected superstars of all time as well?
Overprotected superstar ever. The most overprotected. That's my point. We could say Braun is overprotective. I get it. But if we're gonna start comparing, I don't know if Mike could last with a show coming on every single day critiquing how he is as a basketball player. Every day? I don't know.
How can Skip Bayless state that LeBron James is the most overprotected athlete ever when his media career is based on shitting on LeBron James? He got how many millions of dollars shitting on LeBron James? Anybody else could have made this point. And it's still invalid to me because Flea is 1,000% correct. It is not even close. Michael Jordan is the most overprotected athlete in the history of anything. Anything. You couldn't even have this conversation on TV. He was banned in Sports Illustrated and stuff like that. You couldn't. I'm not going on your magazine cover. Sam Smith, all these guys talk about it. He said Michael Jordan was a bad MFer. He was always a bad MFer. All them stories, like when Bill Cartwright told Michael Jordan, I'll chop your balls off for talking to him crazy at practice, because that's one of the guys who actually fought back. Not enough being made of Steve Kerr getting snuffed during practice.
Hold on, Fabian, because we gotta, we address our regulars, the people that love and support us. We love you, RP. Listening comprehension skills are as important as reading comprehension skills. So listen to what I'm saying. The 24-hour news cycle that is going on today, the debate culture that is sports talk today is not what it was 20, 30, 40 years ago. It's just not. I don't care what nobody says. It is not. People are developing their journalism skills just to be debate talkers. They're not even developing to write good articles, to do what actual journalism is about. They want to get on shows and do what we're doing. This is what people are striving to do because they want to talk about said player. So all I'm saying is, absolutely, there were plenty of articles. People wrote books. They did a lot of stuff to talk about Mike. But there's a reason why Ahmad Rashad was the only guy that could get close and have a sit down. There's a reason why, he was propped up and never knocked down. Never knocked down. Not to my memory. And if I'm wrong, please correct me. So that's all I'm saying. There was a huge difference in the way the media is covering it. It's just different.
Exactly. Because of the times and because of everything you mentioned, RP, those things weren't really magnified like that. See, because you're a basketball nut like us. So
Right.
We would talk about it. But the stuff that my girl, my mom, my grandmother might hear about LeBron and come to me about, they would have come to me about Michael Jordan. Maybe when his pops died, God bless the dead, because that's big news. But this to me, and like, it's just mind-boggling how Skip is really good at this. But that's the part I disagree with you on, though, Flea. I don't care what criticism there is. I don't care what cycle, what era we're talking about. We ain't comparing who could deal with the pressure and the criticism. None of that. Mike lived for that. Kobe lived for that. And Braun does not. That's the part where Skip is right. He wants to be liked. That's always been the problem with LeBron. Dog, who cares what people think about you? We heard all these stories. You don't want to hear the Eddie Curry story, Flea. But he said he almost cried when a fan ran up to him and said, "You suck," when he was in Boston. Like, I would have laughed at him. He doesn't have thick skin like that. Them other dudes, that's a different story. But I digress.
I know Bean can handle it. I have no evidence that Mike can handle it. From me,
okay.
I have no evidence that.
I just, every criticism they ever had him on Michael Jordan, he came out, he would make up beefs just to go compete harder. That ain't LeBron's thing.
It ain't.
We've seen him be thin-skinned. We've seen him just cry. It is what it is. I think we could defer on that. But what we can't have a difference of opinion on is there was a full-fledged glazing of Michael Jordan for decades. I was always sick of it. If you don't like what I say about LeBron now, you would have hated me in the 90s because I said, yo, Jordan ain't winning the 80s. So what y'all talking about? He wasn't this perfect basketball player. Let's chill out. And you couldn't even say that back then.
Well, listen, man, y'all both make great.
Knick fans lorded over Michael Jordan. We're looking at one of the biggest Knick fans in the middle of the screen right now. The biggest Knick fan I know outside of myself or my dad. Biggest Knick fan. AllBall. Loves Michael Jordan. Loves him.
But look, but it's not that I love Mike. I just love what he represented. Winning. You know, like I said, I hated him because he stopped our Knicks from winning championships. But for me, you know, I just don't like the argument that, you know, when we look at, if we use our eye test, he's just the greatest basketball player I've ever seen. And I don't know how people argue that. Now, I understand Kobe, God rest his soul, could be in that argument because it was almost like a carbon copy. And Kobe was a better three-point shot maker. Some people say he had a better handle. But for me, you know, listen, man, you know, Mike was that guy. And I just think what he did as far as sneaker-wise, business-wise, listen, man, he brought something to the table that a lot of people didn't do.
Stay right there. Stay right there. Hold on.
Get off the court.
He was never what?
What you said?
I said we don't care what he did off the court.
Oh,
look. Touche. Look, touche.
TV. They scared, but I'm not. They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.